So this is me showing my other phone, which is a golden one. The one I'm recording on is black. How tyrants who are denying me freedom of speech and creativity on my channel. They're monitoring me as a 5-year-old, as a teenager, from one extreme to the other of treating the disabled like the elderly. And this is racism, this is tyranny. They're not the founding fathers. They're acting as someone that they're not. So I've got fingerprint here registered, and I also have registered my pattern. But unfortunately, locally I have a corrupt police who has enabled stalkers and bad spies who are criminals to get a signal on my phone. And a little kid had been shouting this morning on the top of her voice that the parents had sent her, shouting, "Mum, she has radar." So this witch has sent her daughter, to shout, "Mum, she has radar," implying it could be me or it could be someone else. But it's no coincidence that they're shouting on the top of their voices about my radar when I'm also losing signal. So it's catch-22. If I don't have... I've made my pattern invisible, but I also have a fingerprint registered. So I could use the fingerprint too. So this is my phone that the enemy has stolen through a corrupt police in my local area, whose name is Phil in Hertfordshire County Council, Three Rivers, who had group sex with Helen from 2010 when they came and stole my mobile phone illegally. I wasn't using social media in 2010. I've only started using social media in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Compared to them, who are experts for hundreds of years, these Nazis, these thugs, and these fascists, and wicked political tyrants who are religious, false religious, extremism and terrorism. So they're domestic and social terrorism. They're also ethnic cleansing. So they don't want anyone in poverty to claim. So I'm using my mobile data. I'm also using threading through my SIM card, which is network, because they've also defrauded me and betrayed me using my email for TalkTalk internet connection for home broadband, which I had to disconnect because TalkTalk requires an app over here that I had uninstalled. I know I still have it. This is the app that it requires. And so it makes it easier since it is an online account, for corrupt globalists to enable terrorists to steal my account and oversee my account. The ones who actually hate me, the ones who hate me for no reason and who are racist thugs. So I had registered, but since I did a factory reset, I couldn't get back in there. I could not get in here. I used my old account connected to Amazon. I tried to get in and it has rejected me. It has denied me services. And I contacted them directly and said, this is ridiculous. I can't reset it. I got into my account and deleted it. The old account with the old email address, which has been compromised, which is under Alison Peterson, and I never registered it under Alison Peterson. I registered it under in my official name. So I deleted that account because someone had stolen my email. You have to have an email and Amazon account in order to keep your internet services, which is TalkTalk, active. So now I have another problem, which they have created. They've sent me a contract and a welcome pack in a compromised email, and I told them not to, but they did it anyway, so disobeyed my instructions. So this is how the old baddies have connected to my new account. So I can't use it. I can't use my TalkTalk Wi-Fi and I'm not going to pay for my bill even if they take me to court. So that's how they made trouble. They made trouble for me. So I'll just show how I registered and how they stole this account. Even though I deleted it, it's disappeared now. That's okay. It was called It was called, I think it was called Raw Rosa or something like that. I had deleted the account. So the reason why I'm recording now is to say they've got too much power to destabilize my services, to weaponize my services, and to destroy everything I have. That is for my social. I've been isolated under mental health services for 2 decades since the divorce of my ex-husband. I had a telephone call recently to say that my official diagnosis is paranoid minor personality disorder. It is not schizophrenia. And I'm going to get that in the post. But they didn't have, however, the correct diagnosis available, which is supposed to be trauma or post-traumatic stress disorder. So because they didn't have it available, they forced or imposed their services on me under a wrong diagnosis and wrong treatment. And I lost my daughter as a result. So I never want to have anything to do with adult mental health services in future. Even with a clean constituency, I still lost my daughter because of them. Because they're racist thugs. I don't have mental health. Naturally, I had a crisis of a domestic abuse and divorce in 2008, and it was imposed on me to be with them until 2016 and 17. So it's a very long time to be forced, tortured, under wrong services. And since that, I have lost so much. I had insomnia. I had so many bad side effects. It's the same as having acid inside out. All my services have been disserviced. They've kidnapped my daughter when her dad died by his causes. It's nothing to do with me or her, his daughter. So, because he died, this Englishman, they want me dead, which is totally unfair. They got involved. They intruded too much in my personal and private life. They're denying me to have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of movement, freedom of having my own social networking, my own designs and creativity.
And therapy.
So I'm just trying to download a video which has taken more than 2.5 hours. It shouldn't be doing that. And it might be something to do with the fact that I'm threading. I'm using a thread, even though, so it says here, if you don't have Wi-Fi available, go to connections. It says here, if you don't have Wi-Fi connections available, switch to mobile data. Yep. But I've discovered to my horror that if I switch off this connection, my services suddenly stop working. So I don't have any choice. They're forcing me to have thread through Wi-Fi. They're forcing me to do it. Because Google is forcing me. And who's forcing Google? A tyrant. So in order to have my services phone button switched on, I can't switch it off. So if I go to the threading, what do I mean by threading? Thread networks. You see? Mobile threading. Its hotspot is off. Tethering, that's not threading. So it's forcing me to keep that on. Otherwise, if I don't keep it on, suddenly none of my functions function. Everything stops working. So I had to figure out what's causing the problem. I had to figure out the hard way. I'm not a magician or thing, but they're using Google services. I've switched off location to do cyberbullying and threats. Unknown trucker alerts are off, but they secretly have it switched on. Find Hub, I always have that switched on, off, but they secretly have it. It's like having a duplicate system where they're watching me for evil. They're always looking to design some type of crisis and corruption on my phone device. So they're hacking me through Google, and they're covered up criminals. Nearby device is switched off. My Google contact syncs are always switched off. I always switch them off. Phone number sharing, I don't share. However, I do have a phone number for security, so I'm not locked out. And unfortunately, Thrive Homes, my housing association, has the same telephone number.
So they can track my.
I have no choice in the matter because all my other.
That's how they get to track my social media and find out what I'm saying against them, which is none of their business. I haven't given them the consent or invited them on my social media.
All my other SIM pay-as-you-go have been targeted via location and device, even if it's a new device. They quickly find me because every device has a secret location service on it. And that's how they get to find me and steal my new pay-as-you-go, never used before, to fish me. And that's happened with a new number that I have, telephone number for a O2 network, which I've provided to my housing benefit officials, and they've already fished that to get to corrupt my benefits on their system by acting as if it's me, but it's not me. So that's how they get to access and do fraud via my benefit system with a telephone number. So then I'm forced to use this same phone number, which is the autofill service. So that's how they also get to hack me. So I'm going to try and switch that off. You see, it's catch-22. If you have no security, you then have no...
You're incriminated.
Usage and diagnosis is on. I'm going to switch it off so that the corrupt authorities don't spy on my account. Phone number verification is on for this account so that I am not locked out of my account if in case they steal my passwords. They've stolen so many of my accounts and put their noses in when it's one of their business. And it's the enemy, it's the cat-dog personality disorder. I've switched it on, they switched it off. So they're denying me the autofill service and extra security because they are the corrupt security. So it's better to be without them. It's better to have... It's even better to negotiate with a criminal than to negotiate with these slave masters. That's how bad it is. So I had switched that on, they switched it off. So anything that is supposed to be for my advantage, they turn it to a disadvantage. So I'm going to try and turn this off and just have mobile data on its own, which is there, which is what I want. And I'm also going to switch off police. I mean, I have my security all set up. So I won't have a lock screen because I'm disabled and this phone is at home anyway. Just use my fingerprint. And also they've denied me fingerprint to say it's mine. I have to have both. I can't have one or the other. So if I switch off the highest security, well, I've got medium security pattern. However, I did have the highest security. Either way, it's connected to globalists and tyrants.
They're trespassing.
And I'm starting to believe that all globalists and tyrants are satanic because it's a slave master. It's an abuser. I could be mistaken. However, I'm starting to believe that's the case. So if I switch off and have none of the lock screen, remove data, it automatically removes my fingerprint, which I don't think is fair. I should have the fingerprint without the police intervention and other intervention supervising me as a teenager or as a senile adult.
I'm not senile.
Right, which services? I had so many different services that the corrupt government has attacked, and the money that I paid, it's as if I didn't pay anything. So I do have app security and all that, which is also the police.
So I'm being punished for their crimes. If I started shouting out as an orphan or outcast to God, oh my God, you're my mum and you're the father of the fatherless, start screaming to tell them to get off on the top of my voice outside, they don't like it, but they do enable children to teach them how to be football hooligans and to teach them how to be hostile. That's what the horrible narcissistic parents are doing. It's okay for them to shout and make their children shout and cause trouble and constant abuse, emotional abuse. They're the emotional abusers. So whatever they do, they're allowed, but whatever I do, if I need to shout or if I need to have any type of freedom, I'm not allowed because it's their country. It's not my country, according to these racist thugs. And Brexit hasn't helped what matters. It made it worse.
I have updates, which also keeps my phone secure. Regularly, I check for updates. But I have no lock screen. Account security. Why don't I have account security?
That's strange.
Check your Samsung account.
They're forcing me to have
unchecked events. I've switched off events.
Yeah. Samsung is forcing me to have 2 emails. I only gave them 1. I'm not going to give them 2. So they've compromised my account because I refuse to give them 2. They've got a mobile number. They don't need 2 email accounts. That's greedy.
I've turned off the 2-factor authentication verification. I don't need 2 of them.
But in order for my phone to function, I have to use Samsung and Google.
Check events. It's taking too long. Go away.
So they've overpowered my
phone. It forces me to add an email, which I don't want to do, except for one original email. Go away. It seems to be stuck. Oh,
such a waste of time and stress.
Won't let me close this. Shut up.
I've got no
Just
phone.
shut up and go away. Oh, God, this is so annoying. So I've had this, so they're denying, even when I'm listening to those who I have subscribed to. Now, I want to rebuke them because they won't allow me security, and then they want to punish me for turning off their security, punish me for turning on the security, punishing me for turning off the security. So now my screen is exposed. I mean, I did lock it. I locked the screen. But it's still exposed to hackers, advanced hackers, because I've opted out police. However, I have this thing here, which is a widget, which is also a mobile security. So I haven't turned that off, as it has software updates, maintenance. Here we go, security, which is the police on my phone anyway.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with my phone. However, I cannot lock the lock screen. So
Yeah, I don't have a screen lock. So the thing that I need the most to protect my backdoor services, the front door services and the backdoor services. So internally and externally, I'm not protected because of these corrupt authorities connected to Keir Starmer, Rishi Sunak and other politicians in government who are racist thugs and who are systemic abusers. They enable sexual groomers, they enable hostile environments, they enable prejudice and every type of wrongdoing. I have to do a factory reset and cry all the time, which is total madness. I have no phone for the whole year. I've been struggling getting a new device, I still have access to the passwords in my little bag of Pennypot Honeypot account, and I plan to use that only twice a year because it's infestated with bugs. I haven't used that on my new phone. I'm going to use it only on my old phone. But still, they're tracking and tracing me because my internet provider did not give me the option of signing up a new contract for a internet hub, which is over there. They came and put the wire through above so that the pet doesn't get to it. But they haven't connected my my landline. There's a wire missing. They haven't done the installation properly. And when I registered, I was overtaken probably by some YouTuber who is connected to my housing. So the YouTuber suddenly now lives with me and he gets to overtake my tenancy. The YouTuber does not live with me. The YouTuber has not taken over my tenancy. This is fraud, which Casey Wright and Samantha Whitbread had enabled. They've also enabled one out of many corrupt fire brigades to write false reports about me by a defraud, who said when they did the emergency flooding, removing all the floods and puddles from the 2 bedrooms, that they said that I was using electrical blankets and candles and other default things to attack my tenancy after they've helped me to remove the flood from a bad boiler that exploded in April 2025. So now I'm being blamed and shamed for something that's not my responsibility, and they're attacking my tenancy. There's a meeting on there in Alison Peterson channel. So they've attacked too much. I have less advantages. I have more disadvantages as a result of not being able to lock my screen without any interference of these intervention and AI attacks. All of this I'm going to expose. See, no threats. So it's all up to date, and I make sure that it's all up to date and that the memory is cleared. However, there's a lot of corruption. What they would corrupt the entire new phone, the entire new system, steal my password, change and rearrange settings. So the last software, you see, I don't have Wi-Fi connection, so I should still be able to update this using my mobile data. And I've switched it off, but now everything's going to start being dysfunctional because I switched off. So it's a huge problem, and they're enabling. I've also turned off the synchronization, because when you synchronize, you then get the enemy to interfere, who is somehow attached like a leech. Switch that off. I switched off digital well-being and calendar because advanced hackers can use that. Safety and emergency wireless alerts, I've switched it all off. But it is enabled. The actual app in itself is enabled. So I haven't blocked emergency services. They're not blocked. So it's catch-22 again. I repeat, I've switched off the physical keyboard, so all the settings for physical keyboard is switched off. Screen timeout is 30 seconds. Yep. I've also noticed that they've been playing around with my brightness, connected to the wicked and the wrongful. Accidental touch protection, switch that off. It's connected to blue eye shield.
This eye comfort shield is connected to Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's how they get to play with it. The hackers.
If I switch that off, it's more blue. but if you have the eye protection on, it's more dark, sort of creamy colour. If you switch it off, it's more of a bluey colour. Font size, I have the smallest, that's always on default, so I'm doing everything right, and these criminals are doing everything wrong. My notifications for all of them are switched on, except for I've switched off advertisement, but some idiot has switched it on. So all of these are switched on, but for each one, I have gone to silent, hide them. I've hidden all of them. They're all switched on, my notifications, but I go through all the list and hide content. But again, any rule I make to protect myself, these wicked and wrongful, horrible tyrants, may God pluck their eyes out of their
Witches and wizards, that's what they are.
sockets.
They find someone that they don't like. They find someone who they don't think is a national. I'm saying I'm more English to them in my spiritual body and in my physical body. I'm saying I'm not a criminal, they are a criminal. I'm saying that I haven't broken the law, I'm a law-abiding citizen. They are breaking every law under the disguise of false professionalism.
Bad spies would come and violate everything I have said no to. They've turned into a yes. So they get to steal my network, they get to destroy my internet.
So it's a free land, it's a free country. I've lived here since I was 6 years old. I'm a British citizenship, treated as if I'm an illegal migrant because I have claimant of state's benefit to survive after my divorce and after the fact that I'm an orphan and outcast. I've been abused and they want me abused forever. I cannot recover. I'm constantly abused by systemic abuse. It's the worst thing to have for an orphan and outcast. The money that I have to survive on, they're defrauding me and disservicing me. I can't find any social, I can't find suitable work. If I need work in the future, I can't have any plans. My calendar's corrupted. My keyboard is corrupted. They get to oversee all my accounts and interfere with it. So I can't do any research. I can't do any studying. I can't have any therapy. Oh, if I find something that I like or that does me good, it's soon stolen by a political whore, by a drug addict, or by an LGBTQ who have more rights. They have more rights, the LGBTQ, compared to the sick and the disabled who are in poverty. I'm not talking about the sick and disabled who are not in poverty and who have a big family. I'm talking about the sick and disabled who need it the most, who have no family and no community. I'm talking about these type, the most vulnerable.
To destroy my SIM card, they get to steal my telephone number. They steal too much. It's a human rights abuse.
Yeah. So the next thing I know, I could order a taxi, and then that taxi is not really a taxi. It's Meghan Markle's car, and or some other royals that are going to murder me in the car, or drive me somewhere and act to be police, but they're not really the police. This is how scary it is. Crazy shit.
And violation of my privacy. I'm not a celebrity. I don't want to be a celebrity. Just want to be able to create my account and find a few friends. So get lost. Clear off.
Annoying tyrants.
They're so rude and disrespectful. They've put me,
the worst pest.
Surrounded me by an enemy of all my life. It's got a dark mode that I switch off. And that's the most annoying bit. That shouldn't exist.
They're the ones who are ungrateful to God.
Motions and gestures.
Perverts and obscurists.
I haven't had that. I wanted that. So they changed and rearranged my
settings.
So let's go back to Google. I'm going to demonstrate how I switch off there's the assistant thing on. It's switched on for the keyboard, but it's very much limited. You can't use the keyboard with your own voice to type messages. Passkeys and remembering my passwords are switched off. Trying to find something to show. If I can, it's called an autofill. So when I have that switched on, it's easier for the hackers to get in.
Yep.
Oh, God. I don't think I can switch it off now. It's all switched on. So in order for me to switch this off, I have to go back to the security. See, they've made hell on earth for me on technology. It's the biggest metal poop. So I'm going to go for password again. Not password, pattern. Just so that I can get rid of that.
Never again.
Okay? So just so I can get rid of this shit, I had to turn it off. I can't turn this one off. It won't allow me. Personal information. This is terror. This is what you call terrorism. It's weaponized my own account. Right, I'm going to leave that on.
For 4 years now, I've had
But switch this off. None.
Identity theft problem.
It's wrong that I cannot use fingerprints without, you see, you can't use, it says in order for you to use fingerprints, you have to have a lock screen, which is unfair.
Because the lock screen is where the problem is. I don't want a
screen lock because this is how the corrupt police and other authorities get to
and celebrities
steal my phone.
So it's not only the authorities. These are criminals, authorities, and celebrities that get to compromise in other words, those you subscribe to on YouTube can compromise your account if you have a lock screen. So it's very unfair. I should have the lock screen with just my fingerprint without the password rubbish, where that password is connected to the police. I protest. I don't consent. Corrupt authorities mean that they are criminals and they enable criminals. And they accuse you of having a wrong behaviour when in fact they're the ones who have the wrong behaviour. Yeah, so that Casey Clark is a body shield protecting those up top in Thrive Homes Limited who are criminals and corrupt authorities that I want to prosecute, but I don't have that opportunity to. They're in the wrong job. They don't deserve their job. They've silenced me. They've forced me to suffer in silence. I had no visitors here since 2013, since I moved in here. I haven't got a single friend or a single family member that cares. And they're all narcissists and toxic culture. I haven't done anything wrong other than speak against how they abuse their position of power and violate our privacy. It's wrong for me not to expose tyranny. Yeah, it's bad not to expose tyranny. So for my settings, I have switched everything on, and I want to show the audience what also compromises me. So I have a basic security. The government has tracked and traced me through the locations, even though I've switched it off, and my date of birth. They know that I don't want them. I want nothing to do with them. And the more I say no, the more they attack me. It's so wrong. So I switched everything on to upload my video once every day. So it compromises me when I expose YouTube in this device, because it's then... In order for me to upload a video... I have to have an open link. Otherwise, it won't let it. I have to have full mobile data, and battery.
Unrestricted battery.
So I'm
In
being
this app, I can't hide anything.
yeah, they're forcing me to
speed up
show
the
it.
process, except for notifications. So to speed up the process of uploading, so it doesn't take.
So they undo anything that I do to protect myself. They undo it and change the policy or the rules.
2 bloody hours or 3 to 4 hours to upload a 15 or 10-minute video. That's how much they hate me. Oh, we don't want you using our media. It's not yours because you're anti-Trump or you're anti-Hillary and you're anti-whores. Yep, so it's prejudice. Social media is prejudice, and it's anti-Christian. It's satanic, and it's also an antichrist because it tells lies and it accuses 24/7. So someone keeps playing with my lights. I had to connect to Samsung account.
Yeah, because I protected myself with an eye shield. They've attacked that. They also attack when I
Got nothing to do with them, and the
more I say I hate cats and dogs, cat dog type, in other words, them who are arrogant, the more I say that, the more they attack me. So I want to show here where I am tacking watch later or like, they would use that to attack my channel. I've noticed that. So I'm not allowed to tap like. I also have to open link in order to download, so it exposes me to baddies, the bad guys. Because they notice that I don't like opening links or notifications. I like to hide it. So therefore, they've blocked me from uploading my video. So they change rules and regulations only to suit criminals. So I now have to turn on all the notifications just to upload a video and then turn it off again. So they're forcing me to do that in order to keep my channel open and find true witnesses and find people who look out for my best interests. So these are narcissist, abusive, murderous, horrid. I could make a horror film after what they've done to me. So this is what I mean here. Once it comes out of the blur, I'm going to show what I mean. It's a shit show. So here it is. So where it says watch later, that. So I've got 11 there. They've attacked my channel for simply clicking watch later to try and organise myself. Or the liked album. Or for putting any playlist in the public. Be quiet, pigeon! So if I have public playlist, I'm attacked. Liked or watch later, I'm attacked. So they've weaponized everything, totally. They've weaponized everything. Put the volume up again. Even my SIM itself.
I had to connect to.
Even the SIM itself. So I have two accounts. That's Samsung and Google. To make my Android phone work. Otherwise it doesn't work. It's dysfunctional. So they're looking to steal my password using something that they can do. Now that I've removed my fingerprint, they can steal my password in my Samsung account because they've enabled terrorists and authorities who are corrupt to unlock my password and then pass my password on to a murderer, a criminal, or someone who hates me. So this is why I call them satanic, because they have access, they have keys to my bank account, keys to my passwords, they have too many keys. And so if you dare, for example, to go against any of these leaders. They would turn your home upside down. These are foreign governors. They will turn your home upside down, your state benefits upside down, your bank account upside down. I'll huff and I puff and I blow your house down. And the three little pigs say, not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. So I've just done some washing, blanket and all of this. I don't want to be targeted by these tyrants. And the more I've said that, the more they've endangered me. And it's so unfair. Why don't they go and pick on somebody that actually should be endangered? I washed my mop. That's not dirt, that's cabbage that's fallen down. I'll just put this toweling thing up there on the balcony to dry. Why do they have to target the most vulnerable for this abuse? Let's ask the politicians. It's these satanic politicians. When I was got a cushion there to try and enjoy some sunshine. When I was on Facebook 5-6 years ago, I had John Burko ask me questions and join me into the membership of Parliament. Did it do me any better, or did it make my life even worse? I don't know for now, but for now, I feel I can't trust any of them because my life has not gotten any better. So I just used the door to hang my laundry. I cannot even afford a laundry thing or a fly killer. I have to use vinegar bottles to kill flies, having vinegar in it. I don't have any time left for myself. If I sort one problem, they make another problem. They make me have too many problems. They're so horrible. Absolutely horrible. What's that? Oh, so where was I? I put it, or I told Thrive Homes, do not ring me on Mondays, but you can ring me apart from Mondays during the weekdays, which is my housing officials. I told them to ring me from 11 till 6, but they never keep it permanently on their record. They delete it after every month, and I have to repeat myself. So they harass me. They blame me for my wrong behaviour. According to them, I have wrong behaviour for calling them for help in an emergency, which they have caused. They've enabled criminals to harass me. They've enabled kidnappers. They've done everything to cause me bad luck. Only they themselves are safe. May God cut them off. So I was spiritually and physically death threatened because of my ex-husband, who was a cat-dog personality disorder. In other words, Really arrogant.
a sheep-cat type. But he was mixed. So all my exes, including my relatives, I only had 2 exes, one of which is dead in 2012. I'm not an adulterer, I'm not a drug addict, I'm not an insane person. They are.
Yeah, so the sinners are both cat and dogs. The sinners are not one or the other.
So all the cat dogs are my enemies.
So these are the basic sinners versus Satan, who are demon-possessed. They are one or the other.
So this is what it sounds like my ringtone. So I've muted it on a Sunday.
And a Saturday, mute, weekend.
It's not a basic call, it's a zigzag. So somebody keeps changing and rearranging my to boast in the fact that the tyrant and the slave master is oppressing me and saying this phone and this account is not mine, it's somebody else's. So all information is supposed to be for my benefit. They steal it.
Yeah, this is what I mean by a soul suck. They steal my land, my children, my spouse, my personality, my soul, and even my religion. Not have a right to worship God. So these 5 things, 5 strikes against these slave masters.
and say it belongs to Trump, it's Putin's, it's social workers, it's my neighbor of hell, it belongs to my adult whores, political whores.
Pornography
and they come
channels.
to steal my thing. Then they put it into advertisements and
I don't watch pornography. The last time I watched pornography was in 2014 or 15 when I had my ovary cyst cut off. So I did not have evil, perverse pleasure. They accused me of that. They've accused me of all sorts of perversions which are untrue and unfair on me.
films and claim money out of my information. And at the same time, they want to murder me and steal my children, my one and only child.
Soul suckers.
So if this is
yeah, so they've soul sucked me. They brainwashed my daughter.
The authority.
They're doing death threats in me. I'm not a politician. I'm not a governor. They're the governor who are corrupt.
No, there's no humanity that exists. It's only this alien authority that exists. It's not only happening in the Western hemisphere, the Western civilization. It's the Eastern civilization. Oh, there goes the car alarms. Oh, it's a squirrel that jumped on the car that made the car alarms go off.
So I'm saying every civilization, it's global problem. It's every nation that has a problem of systemic abuse, social and ethnic cleansing, genocide, and these bullies who are slave masters.
Yeah. So I'm trying to upload my squirrel. I'm going to show who I've publicized, who I subscribe to, because they seem to be worried that I shouldn't be. They want to politicize who I'm subscribed to. So I've got somebody from so for the first time in 5 years that I've been on social media, I have subscribed to
a foreign nation, Thailand,
various other countries and nations.
Thailand, Philippines.
When I was on Facebook, I think I subscribed to Zex and several people from former Yugoslavia, which is my native country. And this did not help me, made matters worse for me. They were earning money in their business because I subscribed to them, while I was losing money and I was losing fame and fortune, and I was attacked by a corrupt government. So I haven't then. I've unsubscribed from Zex, who was a business singer, and other creators from former Yugoslavia, because my native government was attacking me, and the American government was attacking me, and the FBI, for subscribing to creators on Facebook. I then stopped using Facebook for about 3 or 4 years now, and they're still attacking me. So I'm going to demonstrate. Here we go again. 60 minutes. It was 72 minutes upload, and then all of a sudden it dropped to 1%. So somebody is interfering and wants to block me and stop me from uploading videos. And I want to find out who that somebody is so that I could murder them! I want to murder them for kidnapping, stealing my land, stealing my everything from me. My pets, my freedoms, my privacy, everything.
My medication.
I want to murder them.
It's my territory, and they've gone.
The point is, I'm struggling to survive as an orphan and outcast for an abusive. I've got red potatoes. I'm cooking them, so they're not cooked. This one is cooked, and I just snip that off with a knife. I'm rationing my food using. I'm struggling to survive because of having so many enemies. I have Spanish onions in the freezer. I use a chisel to cut through this. I have a chisel that I use. I use chilled water to kill the bacteria. in the tap water, which the authorities also have destroyed our tap water. Only one dish, 2 dishes in. I've cleaned my freezer. So I use chisel to get rid of my fridge and freezer do not smell. So again, I use chisel to remove. My potatoes are in here, my jacket potatoes, so that they last longer. So I do ration my foods. I don't always have what I want, you lying, filthy moron, selfish, spoiled brat. All these lies that they've put about me is actually about them. I've cleaned it. It was black because these black bits, they're actually yellow. They're blonde yellow. When they turn black and rotten, and I defrosted my freezer, and then when I pulled it out, all the black went inside the grooves, which I've cleaned.
Black juice, the juice that came out of a
They
rock.
come and pick on the disabled people. These are my thing. I don't have long to walk. And the sooner I start to feel a little bit better and try to make anything positive, they transform it into a negative thing. Because I don't change my pet's cage too often. Once every 3 months, I change it around and clean everything. I've moved the dish to the top, so it's easier for my pet. Shashasha, shashasha, not shush shush. It's shashasha. Shashasha means Moses. Musha, Moses, female version. I also suspect I've got spying equipment in the loft because Samantha gave me a hint that when Trump's lot had done rewiring to this property, they've put secret camera and surveillance in the kitchen so they can see what I've got in the kitchen to criticise me 24/7. They've destroyed my bedroom number 1. They've destroyed. They said I have to share my compensation with somebody who enables me to get compensation, who are also part of the far left extremists that had compromised my email address. That's bedroom 2, bedroom 1, near the Christmas tree. Bedroom 1, look at the ceiling, it's bowed, it's going to collapse. So they've created this crisis to make it look like an accident. They would murder someone and make it look like an accident. I can't say I'd murder them. I'd do it in self-defense. I'd kill them. I wouldn't murder them. They've destroyed my bathroom since I've moved in here. It has been leaking. I've made so many written correspondence complaints, which they defrauded me and disserviced me and told me to shut down my complaint in 22nd of August 2024 last year. That they said they were going to promise to refurbish it. They never refurbished it. They tricked me and turned it into yet another repair. I've had hundreds of repairs. The doors are broken as a result of having a sponge in here. Oh, and I couldn't use a mop fast enough. I used a sponge.
That wall had collapsed.
They owe me £300. They forced me
They patched up that shower in 2017 when it was installed. The whole wall had collapsed and they only patched it up and swept dirt behind it. So every time I shower, dirt goes sieves through the tiles. I told Samantha this, I told Casey this, I told the surveyor this, and all of them have ignored me.
Pay a rent even though I don't have to pay a rent because His Majesty or Her Majesty or whoever it was, Meghan Markle, that destroyed the new system. So I claim full housing benefit. I don't have to pay my rent, and they forced me to pay rent this year because they said they didn't receive a copy of the new system.
Look at this. Miss her punch. They'd gone into the loft. Incompetent worker. Gone there to check if it was leaking. He denies the fact that he checked for leaks, even though I told him to. So I'm being blamed for their errors and their wrongs. I had to contact the police regarding the theft of my bin, which was a wheelie bin outside in January 2025, that I can use with little bags. There's the bin there now, which I suspect it's the stalker that's done this, coming from Shepherd's, coming from the connection to the sex groomers and their evil children. They're evil. They're all evil because they're stalking me and spying on me. They've put spies in the loft. And I cannot prove it because I have no access in there. And they're lying constantly through their teeth. So this is my housing. Again, I'm going to show evidence, which is Three Rivers Council housing. Here we go. It's my handwriting there. I told them this. And it says, you don't have to pay being an over-occupying tenant. There it is. And now because, that's the date, because I haven't done this properly, I did chase them up and told them to make sure that they correct the system, but I haven't done it properly because I don't have a computer. It's not down to me, it's their responsibility. I told them so many times, and they're saying I haven't been paying my rent as if I'm not claiming housing benefit. And it's all done messed up by, I noticed that Gregor Hust, who is Donald Trump's supporter, that had been looking at my case at Three Rivers District Council. They all love him and they all hate me. Why can't they leave me alone? Why do I have to have foreign governors and globalists look at my personal benefits? It's nothing to do with them. I'm not Gregor's Hust girlfriend or any other Donald Trump supporters for them to investigate Three Rivers District Council and make inquiries about me. Why are they doing that without my consent?
One person in a 2-bedroom, I don't have to pay.
The Three Rivers District Council told me this, that he's been asking about me.
Under occupancy. It's not my fault that my daughter doesn't live with me anymore. The government took her away from me.
So they want to punish me for their system error, which is nothing to do with me, by saying that I'm not responsible, I'm not paying my rent, I'm in arrears, I had to pay a full rent, which is a tragedy. I had no money left for my food in end of May 2025 because they kept attacking me through Samantha Whitbread and Casey Wright at Hemel Hempstead office, saying, you haven't paid your rent, you promised to pay your rent, you promised to do this and that. And I was like, you are getting rent, you're getting full housing benefit. What are you talking about? It's as if they don't know how to do their jobs. They don't know anything. Pigeons come to visit me. You've taken all the food from the squirrel. Are you my new Hoover now? So this is outrageously wrong and wicked and twisted.
10 years old, nearly. So all of this, they cause a problem.
Yeah, so my daughter lived with me. She had a room, I had a room in 2014. They kidnapped her under Section 20. It was a false, illegal type of public hearing, court hearing. I was outnumbered and overpowered by the majority who are anti-migrants and my children, because I don't drive a car and I don't have a community. I've invited them to birthday parties. It's not my fault that I had been rejected by all the parents who refused to allow their children to play with my daughter. So they're hostile. They hated the birthday parties I did provide to my daughter since she was 5 years old. They hated me of the fact that I'm not a capitalist and I had no money and I'm not a house owner or a leaseholder. So they're totally insane. Arrogant cat-dog type. In other words, personality disorder, the cat similar to a sheep who is mixed with the dog who is mixed with the goat type of personality disorder. They're the human-animal curse.
And then they blame.
They're cursed by God for breaking the law and putting out disinformation and discrimination.
On me. So now I am the...
Yeah, so they deliberately disservice me, remove any type of quality of service or equality rights, and then they blame me for anything that goes wrong with the system errors.
Biggest victim in the world. I'm not a survivor because they've corrupted everything. So this is an example of my video of Shashasha that I did yesterday.
So I'm gonna.
There's Shashasha over there. After she had a bath, she was oiled every 3 months. She's oiled with coconut oil. So yeah.
They put this information there. So I've put correct information how they're attacking me underneath my pet video. To say they're accusing me of being a child abuser, an animal abuser. All poor people are cursed by God. It's actually the other way around. All rich people are cursed by God. They said my intelligence was a low IQ and that I wasn't pretty enough. That's why I can't get a boyfriend. They're totally insane. I am pretty enough. I am not fat because I am greedy. I am not fat because I don't exercise enough. I am bloated actually because I have some type of a cyst in my tummy, or some type of a problem in my tummy. I also have a virus in my tummy. They've denied me antibiotics for 11 years now. I'm in the process of going to my new GP. So all of this is tyranny and targeted. So I have said a lot of people underneath these videos don't have my best interests. They're not even related to a pet. There's several of them that are pets, but a lot of them are psychos and abusers. So I can go ahead and delete this video because I've just recorded a video. I can delete that and then turn this phone off. Nearby device is switched off, but they still have tracking mechanisms here. I'm not a criminal. Why are they doing this? So this, so nearby devices are switched off. Configuration is always on. Printing is also always on. So this is my other private account, which I have. And it's also registered to Samsung, which is not public. It's not publicizing anyone I subscribe to. It's totally private, but they've already tracked and traced me. This is switched off to deter the police who get to steal your phone like that. The phone is up to date. I always make sure the actual phone device is up to date, software update. So I can keep that on and do it through mobile data. So all of this is wrong. Even when I have the nearby devices switched off, they still manage to connect to my other phone. So I've switched up the lock screen off. So I have one that's navy and one that's gold, and they've already compromised it. And in order to have your browser internet work to do the shopping, you have to have an account. So this is another catch-22. You can't have a browser for the internet without having a Google account or a Samsung account, which is also unfair because there are more settings then. There are more functions and buttons when you subscribe to an account with Galaxy or with... I'm not a communist, so why should I have a communist government on my account? Neither am I part of the Western NATO system. I've never voted in my life. I shouldn't have them dominate my account. Neither am I an insane person. I shouldn't have them say that a psychiatrist or a politician lives with me. This is all the same as sickness and diarrhea and vomit. So I just wanted to show some pictures. I took some pictures of Jesus. Let's see. This should be blank. I don't know why it's still there because I've just deleted it and it's still there. See what I mean? They also get to track and trace you through your camera. So if you don't have a nearby device, they attack your camera to track your phone by facial recognition, voice recognition. So there's so many loops for these insane individuals. This is pictures of Jesus that I took. so I can have my own private. This reminds me of me and my food pot. I like these pictures of Jesus. Don't know how Jesus looked like for sure. However, I just like these pictures of Jesus. That I can imagine Jesus to be. Yeah, the way to heaven is narrow, and very few people find it. And these people that love money more than God never find it, because business is everything for them. So it's Antichrist. My daughter had one of these in her bedroom for nearly 10 years of her life. I mean, how can I be so discredited and disserviced as a mother, treated like a whore, a fat whore, because some politician has said so? So I just switch this off now. It is locked as well. This has a lock setting. That's why I always go for the same phone. So if I wanted to change my screen, I just choose from one of these pictures that I like. Yeah, they've stolen my pictures for my sex therapy after my similar to hysterectomy. They've accused me of having cancer or that I could never have children. How do they know? I haven't had sex for nearly 20 years. How do they know I cannot have children? Why are they stopping God's miracles in my life and stopping me to find the partner for my life? A new partner who is the opposite of cat dog. My ex-husband was a cat dog. How do they know I can't have any children? How do they know I have cancer when it doesn't run in my family? I have clean blood. I don't have diabetes. I don't have anything wrong with my bloods. So they're saying everything that they could. They said I had saggy tits. Of course I'm going to have saggy tits. If you had your bollocks cut off, you stupid, ugly man, you would also have a saggy penis. Or if you had your ovary cut, you stupid woman, so would your boobs be saggy. So they've taken my pictures after my major operation on my womb, in my womb, and said I had saggy tits when I actually put cream on my breasts, and it was prepared for my boyfriend in the future when we were engaged to get married and to have sex, to make family and children. It was for my future. It was my therapy to take my mind off of my ex-husband and my ex-daughter, who's with my ex-mother-in-law. They corrupted that and demonized me and said that I was a pervert. They're the pervert who invaded my privacy and at the same time made any man disgusted of me and my wounds. Any man who is disgusted of me and my wounds after surgery is not my lover, you stupid twat. So I'm going to use this one for the new month, July 2025. I'm going to use this as a wallpaper. Get rid of lock screen. Done. So it's now applied. And then I'm going to lock this screen. But they're so horrible. Why would they steal my pictures and give it to pedophiles and perverts and obscurance of justice? I never did a naked video. It was only in the place where I couldn't bend to look at my pinhole surgery and my private parts and my breasts. It was for my sexual therapy that they've stolen through Google channel and gave it to globalists. Oh, they're so annoying. It's not for them. So in closing the video, I have talked about security, that I cannot trust them as a result. I have to keep doing factory resets as a result. And I have 6 points I want to mention. Punished me for criminal faults, number 1. Number 2, sacrificed me for a horrible kid that has been, my kid has become, they've turned her against me and made her horrible through my ex-mother-in-law and made her tell lies about me and disrespect me. So they sacrificed me for her. Number 3, they targeted me for my daughter's lies and human rights abuse. Number 4, they have damaged my property and blamed me for it. My home is not my home. No freedoms. They said that there's no such thing as democracy anymore forever. Number 5, they've obscured my justice or any friend. They've perverted it and told lies about me. Number 6, they've betrayed me. Betrayers and destroyers. So I've betrayed them. To say talk is the biggest. It's the biggest metal shit and the biggest metal eye that ever exists. So I've asked them to put a board there to stop my animals from chewing the wire, and I've made it loose now. It's loose. It's not going to be used for that purpose anymore. I've loosened it because I had to switch off. So they've given me this, connected it, but a wire has been missing, so I couldn't connect my landline phone, which is over here. Couldn't connect my landline. I had disconnected all the services. Somebody else has gotten pregnant on my suffering. Somebody else has got more money on my suffering. I can't enjoy some sunshine because there's got football hooligans out there. So it's terrible. It really is. I've designed my own necklace by putting real corals together with pearls to make it unique. I've tried my best to use a deodorant in my home when there are bins about. It smells beautiful. It's a Glade. So this is the worst thing ever. I'm going to return the equipment and ask for compensation because it was an improper installation. I have got bins. I'm going to move these bins out. All this summer I'll be busy. That needs to be cleaned inside. All of these bins have to be cleaned inside. They do. These are my clothes on the hangers and my shoes in here. I plan to put my bed in this spare room, but it's actually part of the hallway. This is my favourite laundry cleaner, but I find it very hard to purchase. I've got some spare ones here that remove stains from any stains. Also using this product, which is environmentally friendly, and it has a brush at the end of it for removing stains from white clothing. I have, hallelujah, a lot to be grateful for, but everything I have, which is God's blessing, they have attacked because they have invaded. I have my own landlord who is a criminal invading my home, damaging the boiler for the central heating. For 14 years, I had no central heating when I need it the most, inside, internally, and externally. This whole ceiling is bowed, is going to collapse. I have to have them in and out of my home, which is going to take a very long time. They've rewired the electricity. So this is the electricity cupboard where my coats are. And they've rewired everything. My picture says, be happy, be you. I can't be me. I'm not allowed to smile because if I smile, they would demonize that. I have to be extremely serious. But if I'm serious, they would compete and challenge me, which is totally insane. I shouldn't have to be challenged and competed or have my care services removed because they are saying something about me which is untrue and unfair. So therefore, I'm being oppressed in my own home. They came here and they said all the floors are dirty and not clean enough. Yep, I do need to have a new Hoover, but unfortunately they've trapped my old Hoover in this room My old Hoover is in the corner. I can't get to it. So I need a new Hoover. And when I go and buy a new Hoover online, at the same time I'm being attacked. It's catch-22. I try and sort one problem out and survive death. Do a little bit at a time, one thing at a time. And the very little thing that I do to help myself, they demonize or disservice or discredit and call me insane. It's horrible. They always find a way. They always find a loophole. They always find a way to attack me. So I'm having to live with the enemy. I've got an illegal pervert and bastard wanking over me through Gordon Ramsay and Hillary Clinton. I can go and wank somewhere else. Evil bastards. So I'm overwhelmed. Absolutely overwhelmed. They provide their wives with everything and they treat me like a sex slave or a concubine. They're the sex slave and concubine. They're the side man. These misogynistic evil thugs. They're my side man. I never found Gordon Ramsay, Felix Puta Pie, or any of them. I don't find their bottoms attractive. I exposed them for being the worst hypocrite. How would they like it if they had their bums broken? How would they like it? So if he defended me on social media, it does not give him the automatic right to say that he could now go and invade me, steal my home address. How's your bottom? How's your back, Jack? You evil hypocrite. This Brexit situation has enabled evil celebrities, Satanists, to call me a concubine. How dare you call me a concubine, you invasive evil spirit. Get out of my home. You're not welcomed. I have not welcomed you, you moron. I don't know where to go for help. They're oversexed and overfed. They have their wives, they have their children. They have so much in life that I've never had. I'm not jealous and envious of them, but I am jealous for my freedom. To say, if they have freedom, why can't I have freedom? If they have families, why can't I have a family? Why have they turned the internet against me? Why have they these bullshitters spying on me? They can see I have to use old cloths to wash because I can't even afford to buy flannels. They're tracking and tracing my shopping. They've put their prostitutes and pimps there to boast that they purchased things in the shops that I wanted and never got on Amazon because they can see what's in my basket. They gloated over me. They harvested innocent people, innocent children's lives that they have kidnapped from migrants. They've stolen my land. They've stolen my home. They've stolen my children. They've stolen my therapy. They've stolen my music. I absolutely hate Gordon Ramsay. He's totally evil. Hillary Clinton is totally evil. And all Donald Trump supporters are totally evil. They're harvesting on my information to make themselves look good. Well, they're glorified Satanists. And they have some type of secret held in Ukraine to say that they're going to destroy Ukraine and they're going to rescue Ukraine at the same time. That's the secret. That's what they do. They harass single parents, elderly people who are in poverty and that could not give them any money. They would sell their mother and children. It's terrible. This is terrorism. Who would vote for them? Who would subscribe for... I regret ever subscribing to Felix Puta Pie, subscribing to Gordon Ramsay, subscribing to anybody else who is a wizard. They've said I've never worked in my life, which is also wrong. They came to wank over me and I told them to fuck off. I don't want to be fucked by you. I don't want to be robbed and raped by you. Fuck off. Todd Grande is another one. They all came on my case and said I was Lala on La La Land. Wow, intimate, aren't you? I'm not Lala on La La Land. My enemy is Lala on La La Land Teletubby. So they're all warmongers. These rapists and robbers are warmongers. They've forced my daughter to have an Indian boyfriend because she couldn't have anybody else. She had no choice. I have the cleanest bottom. Even though they've denied me a proper sanitation and shower, I still use cleaned. I have to wash the soap because if I don't, I get a rash, which is very itchy with a rash. I hate to sit in the toilet to wash myself in a bowl. Even prisoners have better sanitizing conditions compared to my situation. They're so horrible. This is why I'm doing this video, to deter people from voting from them and to make people rise up against these government and put somebody else in their place, to boost their economy and to destroy their economy instead. In God's name I pray. Yeah. We need multiple governors. We don't need only one. We need small pockets of governors and not one governor for many. We need to allow the young people to try jobs of authority who are properly trained. And that's how I close my video. In completion of what I was saying was the Bible reference regarding security and how it's one law for the rich, another law for the poor. And that is founded in Luke chapter 14, verses 16 to 24. The Great Dinner Party. So they've given them apps, shops, and everything that they can do for a party, for more of everything that's good and healthy in life, and to give the baby boomers more babies. And they only concentrate on families, but those who have no family, who need a family the most, are targeted the most and incriminated and shot at. So this can't be right. This is why I call it Satanists. Why? Because they're antichrist. They hate people who are poor. They hate people who are disabled. It's worse than Hitler. I mean, for 6 years now, I have been trying to make a single friend, and all I have is pigeons. It's worse than homelessness, being spied on. I survived death. I have a more serious case in my spine than general back pain. It's worse than general back pain. So I just want them to leave me alone. In order to get them to leave me alone, I have to go and live as an Eskimo. Even as an Eskimo, they would find me there. The cat dog is the worst personality disorder ever. They're the worst betrayers and destroyers in every country, not only the Western civilization.